Couldn't be more thrilled. Welcome back to the show. Someone I haven't talked to for far too long. One of my favorite people, the host of the Course Correction podcast, Nelufar Hedayat. Welcome back to the Damage Report.
It's a pleasure.
We're very glad to have you here. It's been a whole pandemic since we last spoke, but I do remember one of your previous appearances on the show was to talk about the launch of your podcast, which is now well into its second season. By the time people are seeing this, I believe 9 episodes will be available. I do want to talk about one of the big debates that at least here in the US is politically, actually there's 2 really, and you've talked about both. So one is at this point in the pandemic, whether in the US or internationally, what exactly the government should or shouldn't be doing. So I know that that's something that you spoke with an individual who's against the lockdown. So tell me a little bit about that.
Can I ask you a question?
Always.
So what is a life worth to you, John?
What is a life, you said, or my life?
Like what is the life of a stranger worth to you? Is it $20,000? Is it 50? Is it 100? Is it 1 ventilator? Is it 2? Should that person have it if they're 80? If there's a 22-year-old waiting in the background who is happy and healthy and has a full life to live? These are the kind of questions that we're tackling in course correction. We're not kind of just looking at the idea of what it means to save people in the course of a pandemic. We need not look further than India right now to see exactly what failing to deal with the costs of COVID effectively are. But John, like doctors have to make these decisions on a daily basis. We just don't know about it. Doctors decide who gets the heart, who gets the lung, who should have a viable life after this. And we spoke to Dr. Ludvigsen of Sweden, who says, don't give the ventilator to me or my family, even though we're in our 70s and 80s and more likely to get sick. Give it to the 22-year-old, give it to the 10-year-old. And he made this case that really shocked me to my core because it proved something to me, John. It proved to me that I am capable of changing my mind. So often, right, we're stuck in our silos because we know we're right. Sometimes reaching consensus is more important than being right. This is what I'm learning as I'm going through this journey of making this podcast. And they're bloody hard lessons to learn, mate, honestly. But if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be me. The course correction, the first episode, I interview my dad. Who's
what?
Yeah, he's at serious risk of catching COVID. And my dad's not rich, he's a poor man, he runs a laundrette. And he took the risk to go out into his community because he knew his community revolved around him. Everyone needs their clothes washed. And when he opened up the laundrette again, there was a sense of like togetherness. So he took the risk for his own personal health to open up the store. So there's all these like really like emotional, thoughtful analysis that we do in the podcast. And really, I find them a roller coaster. I mean, the one we're making right now, on the conflict in the Middle East, in Palestine and Israel, is one that me and my producers and Foreign Policy Magazine, who are the production company we're working with, we're battling every day to try and get it right. Stepping into these things. But if we're going to talk about polarization, why not tackle the biggest polarizing issue in the world, right? So we're really getting our teeth stuck in.
Wow, certainly timely. Now I don't know. So as I said, by the time people are seeing this, 9 episodes will be out, 8 are out as we're recording it. How much more season 2 is there, and what are some of the big topics that you're looking forward to covering in the future?
Yes, so there'll be 12 episodes in total. You guys can definitely binge series 1 right now. They're very, very different in tone. I did a lot of growing up between them. But John, you know what I love about your show, and we've spoken about this a lot when I've met you in LA, is you do not shy away from your feelings. You put the emotional kind of intelligence that you have on your sleeve and you put it on the show. And this is why I love the work that you do and the stuff that you make. I mean, honestly, you and I can vibe on that, but the true expense of being a journalist today is that you cannot not have a view on things anymore. Those days of like impartiality for the sake of impartiality, are well and truly gone. And you've got to be smarter than that. So we don't get away with saying, oh, well, our line is this, or our organization says that. We have to know what's going on. Our fingers have to be on the pulse, and we have to be responsive. I go back to this thing that my boss, Iadarola, our managing director, says all the time, and he repeats it. It's our tagline, it's don't settle for a divided world, right? And the world is ever more divided, ever more polarized, and that's what we're trying to tackle in course correction. We don't have solutions, right? Like, who does? I'm not gonna 24 minutes or 30 minutes, but we can sure as heck give you a different perspective. For example, the climate change episode that we made, I'm not gonna sit here and argue with some idiot about whether climate change is real or not. It's real. But we can talk about the incendiary, inflammatory science and some of the stuff that scientists say that you're like, oh my God, the world is ending. And then on the other side, they're like, nah, we got about 70, 80 years to make a plan. It's like, scientists, get your shit together, lads. What are we doing on this? What's the narrative? Is the world already on fire? Or can I save it? So this is kind of like where I'm at with it at the moment.
Interesting. Yeah, and the distinction between those two positions is pretty important. I mean, to me, it's a wash, but you eat healthy. You might reach 70 or 80 more years. So to you, that really matters. Anyway.
John, not.
Well, look, it's always great to catch up with you, especially when you're doing such fascinating work. And everyone watching this needs to check it out. Obviously, the podcast Course Correction available pretty much everywhere. I use Pocket Cast, but feel free to check your podcast browser of choice. And Nelufar, always glad to have you on the show, and hopefully you'll be back in LA sometime soon.
Yes, catch you there.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.